No one could have predicted this. What was supposed to be a historical meeting on critical minerals between Trump and Zelenskyy turned into a shouting match on live TV. The president of Ukraine visited the White House to negotiate a deal between the two countries, willing to give the US 50% of Ukraine's raw materials, but after this debacle of a meeting, the deal seems to be off the table. The relationship between the two nations is at an all-time low. So what does this mean for this war with Russia, Trump's relationship with NATO, and the possibility of a World War III? It's time to fill the gaps. While it was certainly surprising, this shouting match didn't come out of nowhere. The relationship between the two countries was already on the verge of collapse after some, let's say, provocative remarks were made by the US president recently. Trump's approach to the Ukraine-Russia's war has been the complete opposite of Biden's. Before the meeting even took place, Trump said that the war between Ukraine and Russia was started by Kyiv. After that, he even went as far as calling President Zelenskyy a dictator, so the meeting already started off on the wrong foot, but the tension escalated to a boiling point when the Ukrainian president said he didn't trust Putin to adhere to a potential peace deal. After a heated exchange, Trump openly said, "You don't have the cards," and Zelenskyy replied, "I'm not playing cards." So is that true? What is the exact state of the war in Ukraine? And does President Zelenskyy actually hold any cards despite what Trump says? While the tides are admittedly changing in Russia's favor, the war is not moving at a rate that would end it for either side. Russia currently is holding onto Crimea and southeastern Ukraine, but Kyiv has made some territorial progress recently, capturing key sectors around Pokrovsk and Toretsk. In addition to their slow advance towards Pokrovsk, Russia is continuing its onslaught of drone attacks. 160 drones that consisted of Shahed 131s and 136 were launched on the 20th of February. They then sent another salvo of 210 drones just 5 days later, which Ukraine claims to have shut down most of. So the war is defined by tit-for-tat attacks between the two nations and small territorial gains, putting a heavy strain on both of their economies. So Trump might have a point here. Ukraine currently can't carry the economic weight of this war without help from the US. Which brings us to the issue of money. Trump currently claims that the United States has spent $500 billion for the defense of Ukraine since the war started. Zelenskyy has a much lower estimation of $100 billion, which is a figure closer to the truth. The current US administration was looking to compensate for all that spending by making a deal. Ukraine is a hotbed of raw critical minerals, which is their biggest card despite what Trump said about them not having any. According to the EU, Ukraine has 21 of the 30 critical minerals that deems necessary for its economy and production to function. That includes titanium, zirconium, graphite, and especially lithium, with Ukraine accounting for 7% of these mineral worldwide production. That's one of the reasons why Putin has made an extra effort to hold onto Zaporizhzhia and Donetsk, knowing these regions have a rich supply of lithium. Trump is completely aware of that too, trying to leverage their position as Ukraine's biggest contributor to make a deal where the two countries would share their resources. Zelenskyy was ready to make a deal, giving 50% of their raw materials, but after the controversial meeting in the White House, the deal is off the table. The tides in US politics have changed immensely in the last couple of months. After 4 years of unwavering support from the Biden administration, Ukraine might find itself without US support for the first time since the war started. This raises the question, can Europe defend itself against Russia without the help of Trump? Putin's ambition for extending Russia's borders are no secret. In an ominous statement in 2016, the Russian president stated, Russia's borders don't end anywhere. Leaked documents in 2024 already revealed that Germany has been investigating a possible invasion of the Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. When the war in Ukraine started, the US sent 20,000 troops to NATO's eastern flank as a deterrence force. If the US withdraws from Europe and these troops return home, Baltic states will be ripe for the taking for Russia. But the invasion of the Baltic states would enact Article 5, which provides that if a NATO ally is the victim of an armed attack, all other members will take action to defend the attacked country. Even without the United States support, NATO has a bigger army than Russia, with 2,200,000 active troops to Moscow's 1,300,000. However, these numbers can be deceiving as Russian troops are now battle-tested and more experienced. Moreover, without its key contributor, the United States, NATO would find itself increasingly isolated and disorganized at a time when unity and support are most critical. As a result, the focus would likely shift toward prioritizing a diplomatic solution over a confrontation filled with uncertainty. This is where things get serious beyond our comprehension. The use of nuclear power is a taboo ever since the use of 2 atomic bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. But Russia has said its willingness to do the unthinkable several times. And in this scenario where two sides get into a nuclear firefight, unfortunately, Europe would be annihilated without the United States on their side. The only 2 European countries that own their own nuclear warheads right now are the United Kingdom and France. The combined nuclear capabilities of these 2 countries add up to 515 warheads. That's nothing compared to Russia's nuclear power, with Moscow owning a total of 5,580 warheads just on their own. The United States is the only country that can tip the scales with their own 5,044 warheads, but without them, Russia has Europe completely outgunned. The most disturbing remark made by President Trump in his meeting with Zelenskyy was, "You are gambling with World War III." And as scary as that sounds, there might be some truth to that. United States manpower, nuclear firepower, and military technologies play a pivotal role in the deterrence of Russia's further advances against Europe. Without them, there is no telling what Putin's next move will be. We are living in unprecedented times. Countries using their military power to leverage better deals with enemy states is one thing, but this insane shouting match in the Oval Office might indicate that the United States is now willing to take back military aid to shake down their allies. This, no doubt, will damage the credibility of the United States as an ally and their diplomatic reliability. And other countries that rely on American military support to guarantee their safety, like South Korea, Japan, or even Australia, might need to face the fact that they might now be alone.